So at this point, it's pretty much all but confirmed that Rockstar's new game Red Dead Redemption 2 is not going to be getting a delay. We know the release date of that game is supposed to be October 26, 2018. And if there was going to be another delay, they would have had to say by now. At this point, it's not really a game decision. It's more of a business decision. Like they have to let retailers know, okay, we're not having the game come out. Obviously, management decisions inside Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive have to be made. The game is coming out on October 28th with all the information they revealed, with all the inside sneak peeks they've given sources like IGN and major video game markets and whatnot. It's coming out. And because of that, a lot of people are now wondering, since that's set in stone, what effect will that have on the next Grand Theft Auto game? I've actually been getting a lot of questions about that recently from Vic. He says, when do you think GTA 6 will come out? And from Tyan, who says, do you think GTA 6 will come out in the 2020s? So obviously, RDR2 having its release date basically locked down has prompted a lot of people to ask me when GTA 6 is going to be coming out and in what year it will be coming out too. So let's dive into all of that today based off of all the information we know so far. And the first thing I think we need to talk about is I don't believe the next game that comes out from Rockstar after RDR2 will be Grand Theft Auto. So we know that Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out in 2018. And then I think there's going to be a smaller game that comes out. Now, I say smaller in relative scale. Pretty much every game that Rockstar creates is massive and takes a lot of production. But I think we're going to see something along the lines of Bully 2 or one of those smaller scale Rockstar titles that are still very successful. They're just not Grand Theft Auto and they're not Red Dead Redemption. I think that's going to be coming out about a year or two after Red Dead Redemption 2. So if that's the case, we can expect a game like that to happen in 2019, 2020. You know, Rockstar wouldn't want to reveal another game immediately after that. So that would kind of leave us in the 2021, 2022 timeline for the next Grand Theft Auto game, which is exactly what the development process likely lines up with. Rockstar developed Red Dead Redemption 2 for 8 years, so you would think even a bigger game like Grand Theft Auto would take somewhere around 9 to 10 years to develop, which would put us right in that 2022 mark. So to answer your question, Tian, yes, I believe it's going to come out in the 2020s. It just doesn't logistically make sense for it to happen anytime sooner than that. I mean, RDR2 is not going to come out at the end of 2018, and then less than a year later, another big Grand Theft Auto title come out. It just doesn't work that way in terms of development, promotion, production of the game, and then obviously getting it out to us, the consumers. Another thing we need to talk about here is console releases. So we know Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be Rockstar's first new game on the PS4 and Xbox One and PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X, all the plus editions of these new consoles. So GTA 5 was remade for this game, but it's not a new game. Obviously, it was made originally for the 360 and the PS3. So let's talk about what's going to be around in 2020, 2021, 2022. I can almost guarantee you that by then we are going to be on a new system, whether it's PlayStation 5. I don't know what Microsoft is awkwardly going to call their next Xbox. Xbox 2 would be the most logical thing based off of what they called the other one, Xbox One. So I'm really not too sure what they're going to call it, but I know for a fact we're going to be on a new system. Rumors have already been coming about how publishers already have PlayStation 5 development kits, and when that sort of stuff starts to roll out, we know we're about a year or two away from either the announcement or the release of a next-gen console. Consoles typically only last 5 to 6 years. I mean, see what happened between the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One, the PlayStation 3 and the PS4. On sort of a smaller scale note, what Nintendo does with the Wii and the Switch and stuff like that. They last 5 to 7 years. So those next generation consoles came out in 2013. You would suspect that by the year 2020, we're going to be on a next generation system. So logically, you would assume that the next Grand Theft Auto game is only going to be available for the next generation systems. PlayStation 5, Xbox 2, as funny as that is to say. So how is Rockstar going to handle this? Now, the more I think about it, I actually could be convinced that Rockstar might follow the same release strategy as GTA 5, So in case you weren't around from day one, what Rockstar did is they made Grand Theft Auto 5 start on the 360 and the PS3. And then 6 to 12 months later, they remastered the game for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One because they were certain that a large percentage of gamers would buy the game again for the next generation console. So Rockstar have already demonstrated that this would work, and would they turn to the same opportunity to do this again? Releasing GTA 6 very briefly on PS4 and Xbox One, and then 6 months to a year later, we see it come out for PlayStation 5, Xbox 2. That might make sense, but at that point, it might already be a year or two out from when we've seen those consoles. So it wouldn't make sense for Rockstar to make a game for a console that's already at this point a year or two old, when the focus would clearly be on the future. So I certainly think the console ecosystem will have an impact on when Rockstar decides to pull the trigger and release the next Grand Theft Auto game. I seriously think they will be monitoring Sony and Microsoft and saying, whatever you guys do, this is going to have an impact on us. Now, another thing I think could impact the release date of GTA 6 would be the continued success of not only Grand Theft Auto 5, but also Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm curious to see how popular and profitable Red Dead's multiplayer mode is going to be compared to Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, I suspect that due to the era the game is set in and the limited form of transportation, that it won't prove to be near as lucrative as GTA 5 was. Now, don't get me wrong, Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to make a ton of money. It's going to destroy the profit records for any game the industry makes during its lifetime, but it will still prove maybe to be slightly disappointing compared to the behemoth of GTA 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. And I would not be shocked if the next GTA game is near ready to ship the minute Rockstar feels Red Dead Online's income is dwindling, which we have not seen from Grand Theft Auto Online. It continues to grow and grow and grow, which is why, number one, I feel like we've seen so many Grand Theft Auto Online updates, but number two, why we've also seen such a big gap between GTA 5 and RDR2. So if RDR2 is incredibly successful, you might see the gap between that game and GTA 6 go at its maximum point that Rockstar is willing to wait. However, if it's not as successful, and that might have nothing to do with what Rockstar's done with the game. It might be a 10 out of 10 IGN, but there's only so many horse carts and buggies you can buy. Whereas with modern day GTA, there's almost limitless cars and properties and things to do. So if RDR2 isn't necessarily as successful profit-wise, you could see Grand Theft Auto 6 or the next GTA game released much quicker than maybe Rockstar has anticipated, which is another reason why I feel like they're doing so much development right now, as we touched on in a previous video. They might have certain dates and release points which they want to hit, but market fluctuations, console releases, performances of their new game RDR2 could have an impact on everything they want to do. And moving on to the final point I want to touch on today, and that is PC. So Rockstar haven't confirmed if Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be coming out for the PC. And this is interesting because we've seen Grand Theft Auto games be released to the PC, even though they haven't announced it. We saw that with Grand Theft Auto 4. We saw that with GTA 5, where they really didn't announce it up until like the last couple of months until it came out. For whatever reason, Rockstar is always really finicky with the PC. And you would assume that they will do the same thing with RDR2, except Red Dead Redemption never came out on PC. So is RDR2 going to come out on PC? That will also have an impact on the next Grand Theft Auto game, because that's another console that they would have to get out. You would assume that if they are, sometime in 2019, the PC version of the game will be released. But if not, then they don't have any other versions to make. It's just going to be out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So that's another thing to consider. Whether Rockstar decides to release a PC version of RDR2 could impact, once again, the release date of GTA 6. And I thought that was the final thing I wanted to touch on today, but RDR2 has reminded me that just because Rockstar throws out a release date does not mean it's going to stick. In fact, the first release date they throw out, you might as well expect it to release about a year and a half later. Do you guys remember all the dates they threw out for RDR2? Spring 2017, fall 2017. Then it got pushed back to spring 2018. And now, of course, we're getting October 26, 2018, which looks to be the finale. And it's basically about a year and a half later. So again, that's another thing we're going to have to keep in mind. Just because Rockstar makes their first announcement means it's probably not going to stick. So it'll be pushed back even further. But I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What do you think the release date of GTA 6 is going to be? What do you think the console situation is going to be like? And how do you think what happens with RDR2 will have an impact on this game? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below, so let me know your thoughts, opinions, more down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.